Today on Lawmakers Hub, I will be talking with a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is the current senator for Rivers South-East District. He is a member of the All Progressives Congress Party. He is Senator Magnus Abbey. Abbey has been described by many as a true leader who keeps his doors open to give easy access to the people he represents and, of course, the other citizens of this great country, Nigeria. I personally had my share of his accessibility when I wanted to run this interview. At the end of the interview, I requested for his telephone number. And what I heard next from him is for me to go to the reception area and look for the corner where his number is pasted so I can copy it. I was startled because that is not very common. These are the words of distinguished Senator Magnus Abbey. As an elected and servant senator, I will fight to ensure that I use this privileged opportunity to represent our people to make sure that the provision and enjoyment of the basic necessities of life become a standard and not a privilege. A vision of greater tomorrow for our men, women, and children is my vision. Senator Magnus Abbey, he is presently sponsoring a bill seeking to protect the interest safety of domestic workers against abuses, exploitation, and also protecting the employers of domestic workers as well. And that's why he is on Lawmakers Hub today. Please join me as we ask him a few questions on what inspired him about sponsoring these very, very unique bill. Thank you. I'd like to ask you a basic question as regards the bill you're sponsoring on the floor of the Red Chambers. What inspired you, sir?
Yes, what I was saying is that the challenge of our domestic workers in this country, or that section of the labor population or the labor market, is something that is obvious to all of us if we spare a thought to it. Like I was saying, there is no executive, there is no manager, there is no top flight businessman or anybody who is in any way contributing significantly to the economy of this country that does not himself or herself depend on the support of their domestic staff to make it possible for them to make that contribution. If you imagine if your houseboy, your cook, your driver, all these people were not there to support you, there is no way you can make the successes that you're making, of which you're so proud, you know. So I believe that turning our attention to these people who are making this, they are the ones actually carrying the economy on their shoulders. It is their labor that keeps this country going. But they are not documented, they are not protected, they are not trained, they are not supported, they are not acknowledged in any way. And a lot of them are being subjected to so much abuses, deprivation, being practically made to work 24 hours a day, you know, with no help. On the converse side, there are also a lot of employers, like I pointed out, who are themselves victims of their domestic staff. So I believe that no matter how you look at it, the time has come for us as a country to actually get up and do something about, you know, the support, the help, and the contribution that these people are making to the economy. It's time we protected them. It's time we acknowledged their presence in the economy and their contribution to the GDP. It's time we also did something to even make them more productive, so that we can actually get even better quality services from that sector of the economy.
Key prayers, like your request, what the bill?
What the bill will do, first of all, is to track the domestic labor market by making it mandatory for every domestic worker to be registered. Now, the second thing the bill would do is to provide safeguards for domestic workers. So if you're being abused or you're working inhuman hours, or you're being treated in ways that are inconsistent, with what the law allows, then there is a remedy for you in that bill, and those who do such things that is being prohibited or criminalized by the bill will be liable to prosecution. Deceive people in the name of using them as domestic help and subject them to all sorts of indignities and illegalities will also be identified by this process and then flushed out. So all in all, it will sanitize the sector and bring relief to everybody.
Great. So how soon do you expect it to be signed into laws? How soon?
Well, it's been read a second time. It's been sent to the committee. I know that the committee has done its work and believe that any time from now it will be passed by the Senate. But even if it is not completed at this session, we believe that the awareness is now there, and legislation as government is a continuous process. We believe that the incoming legislators will still pursue it, and at the end of the day, Nigerians would actually see a change in that sector.
Okay, but if you have your way, you want it in the Assembly?
Yeah, we're working on it. It will be passed by the Senate this session. Okay. I'm saying that the problem with budgets in this country is not passing the budget, it's implementing the budget. The budget is actually, people keep calling it the budget, but it's actually called the Appropriation Act. It's a law of the land. And once it is signed by the president, it is supposed to be implemented as a law. But in this country, traditionally, the truth of the matter is that we pass the budget, but it's not treated as a law. So a lot of things in the budget at the end of the day are not implemented, they are not funded. I mean, there are human factors that make that sometimes impossible and sometimes difficult. But the idea that the budget, once it is passed, those revenues should be there for the different agencies to draw down on them as appropriate. It has not reached that level in our democracy. It's still pretty much work in progress, But I think that almost how many years down the line, we should begin to see a change in how the budget is implemented.